Firstly, we're living in a time where we understand what is OCD, okay? In the past, they definitely did not understand that. And so people would have kept quiet and suffered alone with OCD because they wouldn't have even known they had it and had no tools how to get better. So that's very important. Two, one of the most important things is how quickly we can go from feeling crap to feeling good. There were so many moments in my journey where I literally felt I was never going to get better, felt the worst ever. And then going from the worst ever to okay was just a very small transition in how I was feeling. And that is so key to remember, because when we're stuck and we're feeling terrible, we think we're never going to get better. This is it. This is how we are. This is us stuck forever like this. There's no change. That's it. And that's not reality. So you mustn't try and measure and make decisions on your whole life based on a feeling now. The same as when we're angry, we can feel like telling someone something and sort of we give the most aggressive speech in that moment that does us no favors, but feels like what we want to say, but actually isn't, because we're being directed by those emotions at that time. Think about this. When you wake up, you're going to feel more anxious naturally. And when you go to bed, you're often going to feel anxious. Don't work out lying there in the morning, basing how stuck you've been and reassessing your whole life. Instead, view it as you're changing through symptoms. Sometimes you're going to go out, you'll be with friends, you'll have a laugh. Now that can also be a triggering situation. You may feel like that's really bad. But you may go out and do that and then feel not too bad and think, shit, I'm not that bad. Oh my God, remember this morning how I was feeling? And I thought there was no hope at all. So it's so important not to dive straight on the emotions in that 1 second. It changes very quickly from here to here, just like that. But when we've been stuck chronically, we can often, this is also very cunning of the disorder. When you've been stuck chronically for so long, you think, I'll never feel better at all. And you're utterly convinced. And then a change in belief, and then suddenly a huge reduction in how you're feeling. But this thing is the other problem. When we have a setback, we think, oh my God, I'm stuck at square one. I'm never going to get better. This is literally me stuck now for the rest of my life at this point. Or maybe I was kidding myself and I never felt better. That's how cunning it is. So you can have a setback and then you may have been feeling great for 2 years and suddenly become utterly convinced that you never felt great at all. I have to often say to people, like one of my posts today was saying, remind yourself when you were feeling good. Sometimes people have to write that down, because they forget and then they think, oh my God, my life's terrible. I'm stuck forever. I'm never going to get better. And they become utterly convinced of that. And it is that sneaky. Say, for example, me, I don't have any chronic anxiety and chronic guilt anymore. But if I had a health scare and then experienced some short-term anxiety with that health scare, I imagine that in the moment, maybe I could even become convinced that I haven't been better at all, because that's how convincing it is. When we feel a certain way, we can't imagine how we felt before, and it almost feels like it never happened. It's that sneaky. It's like if you're hot in a hot country trying to imagine if you're cold, or vice versa. It's not so easy. But with OCD, it's extra sneaky with that. And the other thing it does is it steals time. So when you're engaging in like a compulsive cycle and rumination and going through that all the time, you think, I'm never gonna, I've got all the time in the world. This is the most important thing I've got to completely focus on, all my energy, laser focus right now. Whereas in fact, in reality, that is, because it's the life and death internal struggle, we think, I've just got to get there and then I can relax. I can just get there and I'll be at peace. And because we're doing that, we're missing the fact that we've spent maybe months, years doing rumination. And that's what happens all the time. And I spent years, and originally I was so scared when I started recovering, because I thought, my God, I was stuck in this cycle for so long and I didn't even know. And I thought I'd done it to myself. And I thought, what an idiot doing all this reassurance and stuff for so long. But it's not as simple as that, because obviously it's quite tricky how it operates. So it's really important to be aware of all these tricks and all these sort of sensationary movements that go on.